As women, it's actually very important that we have a good control over our finances, whether you're single, whether you're married, or whether you're just in a relationship. Now, today's video is going to be focusing key things you can do with your finances in order to put your finances in order if you are single. And let's get straight into the video. One of the first things I would strongly recommend for every single person that is trying to put their finances together is to ensure that they start an emergency fund. And an emergency fund, I know that you have heard about it before, and I've already mentioned it in some of my videos. But one thing I want to focus on at this point is to let you know that as a single person, your emergency fund should be built in a way that it can take care of you for 6 months. This will mean that it should have enough money to cover for your bills and your main essential things that you spend money on for at least 6 months. And this is very important because if, let's say for instance, you have an emergency and you do not have anybody to run to, this would actually help you to organize whatever it is that you need to organize at the time where you are. So the first thing is having an emergency fund. If you do not have one yet, this is the right time to actually start one, so that before you get into a relationship or before you get into marriage, you already have something built up for yourself. The second thing now is going to be to ensure that you are getting into certain types of investments. Depending on the type of person that you are, your financial behavior, whether you are somebody that likes to take risk or somebody that really doesn't like to take risk, this is the time that you actually want to start to interact with investments. When I say interact, I mean try your hands on certain types of investments so that you get acquainted with it. And this is because now you are single and you can take certain decisions by yourself for yourself. And then eventually you would use this period to learn what type of investments work for you, what type of risk you would want to be taking when it comes to making investments with your money. One of the things I always recommend is that you put your money into treasury bills, right? And you do this by using your savings and buying treasury bills. The truth is that with treasury bills, you get more interest based on the amount that you are putting in. If your amount is low that you are putting in, you get lower interest. But the thing about it is that compounding your interest gets you to get some good amount of return. Another thing I would strongly recommend as a single woman is that you should make sure that you are understanding your budgeting skills, or you are perfecting your budgeting skills and actually falling in love with budgeting, because this is where you acquire financial discipline. This is the time that you have to ensure that you can actually allocate your money based on your personal needs, so you decide where you put your money and how you use it in a way that is benefiting you. This is a very good time for you to start getting your financial discipline on point, because with budgeting, I know that sometimes it's difficult, so you start it and then as time goes on you get better at it. Like I gave you in the last video, I gave you a challenge for 12 months or for 12 weeks, and so in those 12 weeks, so those are 3 months, so in those 3 months you should be able to start getting used to budgeting by the time you are entering the 3rd month, because it's actually not easy. Sometimes you start, you fall off, but you have to just jump back into it so that you can continue the journey and get used to it and get better at it as time goes on. Another thing I would suggest if you are single, and this is based on your income, if you are a little bit on a high side, I would strongly suggest that you buy assets at that point, because those assets that you buy while you are single, eventually, if you do not, let's say for instance, if it is a land and you do not want to build on that land in, let's say, the next 5 years, it will be easier for you to sell it and get good returns and buy another land or invest in another property. And this is a tip I want to give you. Anytime that you spend money, anytime you have an asset that you sell, make sure that the money that you are getting out of that sale goes into another investment. Do not use money from one asset or from one investment to just use on your personal self. Use it for another investment, use it for another asset, use it for your savings, because those kind of monies, those are the monies that help you to build wealth. If For instance, for everything that you sell, you used to buy something for yourself. When are you building? You have to be consistent in savings. You have to be consistent in investing. You have to be consistent and disciplined enough to know that, okay, this is money that you are not going to use for yourself, or this is not money that you are going to use for your family. This is money that you are going to use for investment. And this leads to my next point. As a single person, this is time to get out of your comfort zone. The reason is, when you are out of your comfort zone, you are able to navigate your finances and you are able to know what works for you and what doesn't work. It's time to try a new business. If you always wanted to try a new business, it's time to do that. It's time to apply for certain jobs that can give you more income. It's time to level up your skills to be able to acquire more passive income. This is the time to get out of your comfort zone. So if you are single, consider these things now, because this is the time that you have for yourself. This is when you can do more things for your own self, and this is where you decide how you want to navigate your finances and achieve eventually a level of financial freedom, or at least get into that journey of financial freedom. This leads to my next point. As a single person, and this I think goes for everybody, right? But look, you cannot help everybody. Learn how to say no. I know that this might not sit well with everybody, but you have to learn how to say no. Sometimes this no has to go to your family. Sometimes this no has to go to your friends. Sometimes this no has to go to just acquaintances. You never know. You see, at some point you have to make yourself a priority. It's not selfishness, it's just an understanding that where you are right now requires some level of growth. So you are committing yourself to that journey for a specific period of time. When you have achieved or attained a certain level, then you can carry other people along. But there is this point always where you actually need to put your priorities first, build a little bit for a little while before carrying other people along. It might not sit well with everybody, but it's quite necessary at some point. So depending on where you are, consider whether you can carry people along based on where you are, or the progress that you can make if you actually decide to prioritize your goals for a period of time before carrying other people along. I hope you understand my point. And don't think I'm selfish or anything, and don't also think that I am opposing giving. I am such a giver. Like, I'd love to give people, but it gets to a point where you have to understand that now I cannot give. I have to wait for a while and get myself together before I will be able to give again. So there be a balance in there, so that you don't become a selfish person or a stingy person, but you just know that you are doing this for a specific period of time to be able to attain certain goals that you have. The last thing I'm going to say in this point, when it comes to finances, I want to say that you do not have to be everywhere. You don't have to be everywhere, especially when you know where you are going to. You cannot be everywhere. You can't be putting your money in every party. You can't be putting your money in every hangout. You have to choose where you want to be. I'm not saying starve yourself. I'm not saying deprive yourself from good things. I'm just saying create a balance. Don't go broke because you have to go on a trip with your friends. Don't go broke because you are buying an expensive gift for somebody and you have to impress the person. At the end of the day, you come back home and you are the one that is affected, so you need to know where your limits are. You need to know how to balance. I am a very big advocate on rewarding yourself for your efforts of putting yourself together. I'm big on that, but I'm also saying that there needs to be a balance where you understand that you cannot put in your money in every single event, or you cannot just be out there just because you deserve it. No, we all deserve a very good soft life, but we need to learn where the balance is. If you were taking trips every 3 months, girl, just take a trip twice a year. It doesn't hurt nobody. It's the same pictures. Please, I beg, don't take it so personal, because you have to build I would always say this: it is better that you start building young so that you start relaxing earlier, and then you have time to enjoy your money. Because if when you are too young, you are spending and spending and spending and not thinking about, the future, or not thinking about building or investing or saving, by the time you want to start, you would be tired. But if you start early, it will be easy on you as time goes on. It gets to a point where you can take a trip 3 times a year and nobody cares. Like, your bank account is not even affected. But you see, it gets to there's always a point where you have to sacrifice. So know where you are. Depending on where you are, know what works for you, what you can do to be able to build. I'm advocating for building wealth young so that you can rest young. I do not believe that I have to be 60 years before I can take 4 trips in a year. It's not possible. I want to be able to enjoy my money before I'm 60, before I'm 50. I want to be young and enjoy myself. And that is why I have to put myself together to strategize now that I'm young, to be able to put things in place so that I can enjoy them whenever I need to enjoy them. So just create a balance that works for you, and just keep motivating yourself, keep pushing. It's not easy for anybody. Like I said in my last video, everybody's trying to figure themselves out. So figure yourself out. Don't be pressured by anybody. Don't think you are doing too little. You are not. You are not doing too little. But if you are still in your comfort zone, come out of your comfort zone. Manage the people that you keep around you so that they can keep you motivated. Actually, if you are in a circle of women or people that are trying to do well for themselves, you'd actually do well for yourself as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Please, please, please make an effort to like the video. As you're watching it, just like, because you guys don't even try. Like, sometimes I just see the views and you guys don't really like the video. If you like it, please like the video and leave a comment. Okay, this is what helps my channel grow, and I'm looking forward to growing this year. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video.